What's going on, guys? Cody from Motorcycle MD. In this video we'll be going over the carb setup on the CL350. There's tons and tons of debate, a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to the VM30 carbs, VM32s. This is like an upgraded carb for the older style vintage bikes. A lot of people are moving to them, whether that's because the old carbs vacuum slide pistons are ripped or whatever. Anyways, super adjustable carb, user friendly, but it just takes a lot of time dialing in. From the research I've done, people range all over the places when it comes to jet sizes and all the ins and outs of what this carb can do, but it comes down to a lot of important factors when it comes to the bike. So we're going to dive into that, get a little bit of information, and let you guys know where I'm starting out with my carb for my motor and how I'm going to be setting it up. So let's see what we got going on. So if any of you guys have been following this build, we know a couple things about this motor. Okay, the head has been ported. Okay, a lot of Hondas, the older style stuff, any Honda really, or motor that I know of coming out of Honda, a lot of times they are detuned out of the exhaust port. The exhaust ports are super small, and that detunes the entire motor by means of just how fast things can leave the combustion chamber. The head has been ported, it's been polished a little bit, but the valves are stock, piston size is stock. We are going to run a larger carb, open air, with filters, and eventually a exhaust that's a little bit more open than the factory setup, but it will be likely the same style of how the exhaust pipes run. It's just not the big gaudy thing that it's used now. So because of that, these spec readings that I'm going to be setting up, hopefully at the final product, will likely be different from yours. Every motor is different. Compression matters per cylinder, valve adjustment matters, ignition timing matters, tons of things matter that need to be perfect for you to get changes from the carb that you make to be positive or negative. Does that make sense? In order for you to get good adjustments, make progress in your carb tuning for these VM30s, everything else has to be set before that. Okay, so because my motor is not stock, we'll say it's not stock, the flow of the head has been improved, the top end has been lightened up. I am running the fat cam, which is a stock cam, just a different generation, and like you saw in the other videos, parts have just been lightened. Whether that matters, we won't know, but the porting will matter, flowing in and out of the head and how that looks. But for my VM30 carbs, okay, this is just a starting reference point, I may be way off. Just from the research I've done and what makes sense to me, I'm going to run 3.0 slide, okay, 3.0, it's a larger cutaway. The PO emulsion tube, or we'll call it the needle jet, which is that center post that runs right in the middle of the carb. I'm going to run a 150 main. This is the short stem main. Okay, they also make longer ones. A 50 idle 2.0 air jet. That's the one that's right up front, and a 6F4 needle, and I have it set in the middle position right now. Likely to change. A lot of things are likely to change. I set the air mixture here at about 1.5 out, and my float height here is adjusted to 22 millimeters. Float height adjustments. Wow, forgot that was in there. As you see, this little flapper that we got right here sets our float height. Okay, it looks very different from a lot of other carbs because on the VM30s the floats sit independent from that stopper right here, this little flapper valve. Okay, so when it comes to your float height, if you look at my other videos, it's all done the same way. I use a float gauge, you can use a ruler or whatever you got set for millimeters. You're going to measure from where the gasket base is, not the top lip, the gasket base without a gasket, up to the side of that flapper. Okay, so turn the carb sideways, make it fall, let it roll back, boom, and make your adjustment right there from the carb gasket's base where it sits to that. So mine's set at 22 millimeters. We're gonna get these all installed on the bike, grab the exhaust, throw that on there, grab some fuel lines, and we're gonna see if it can idle. If it can idle, then that'd be great. I'm not concerned about it being ripping right off the bat because there's gonna be a lot more adjustments to make, obviously. But getting it running is what we wanted to do. So hopefully that gets it running. The idle jet is real fat on it, a 50. That's huge from what I've heard people running on these, but we're gonna run it. We're gonna see how it does. So let's do it. One more quick tip when it comes to these little floats in here. make sure you install them the correct way. That pin needs to go all the way to the bottom, okay? Not up top. Then your carb will not get any gas at all. Okay? Make sure our cutaway is always facing towards the mouth of the carb, towards the air filter, this cutaway right here. Because you can install that wrong and it will be backwards and it will not run. Or it won't take throttle very well. Fun fact, I just damaged this piston when I dropped it. So it won't go down anymore. I'm trying to figure out why the heck it wouldn't go down. When I dropped it, pretty much launched it as hard as I could at the ground. See that bend right there? On this side? And push this in, so now this is too small for the pin right here. Son of a... Lucky for me, I have some spares. 3.0 left side slides. Oh well, onward and upward. I have a feeling I'm going to be going after the flanges that are angled. Get someone to 3D print me a spacer that can take some temperature and cut this out a little bit. Ain't no way you can get a filter on there without getting one of those foam ones. I don't really want a foam one. Or I'll relocate the battery or something. So right now just this throttle body is moving. The other one is not. So we're going to take this down. There's a couple of techniques to do this with, like drill bits. You can just set them in there the right size that's fully seated. And as soon as you crack it, you can watch the drill bits or the popsicle sticks kind of raise and lower, which is a great technique. I'm just going to get them pretty close as I can by eye right now. Also helps to make sure that your cables are all the way down. Alright, so the throttle's operating them at the same time. I'm going to make sure that the idle adjustment is not affecting anything right now. I'm going to turn this in until I feel it lift. Alright, just barely lifts right there. I kind of just put my pinky underneath there, or my finger, and you can feel the pressure of the slide on your finger. Just like the tip of it, not shoving it underneath there, but just right at the tip. Just the tip. And wait till I feel that pressure kind of release off my finger. This is not a spec'd out perfect sync by no means. I'm just getting them close. Any adjustment that I make to the idle, I'll do them at the exact same. We got fuel tubes, we got throttle. Let's go ahead and get this exhaust on. Alright, so just to be careful with paint, we're going to split these pipes up and put them on individually because they can be a pain in the butt. We'll see how we do. This is super Jimmy rigs, but gotta do what you gotta do when you're alone. Alright, third hand activated. If I'm being honest, I can't really believe the exhaust is going on right now. Not the final product, but it's come a long way. I'll leave this back end loose until this is all tightened in. Go ahead and grab this axle nut, take that back off. That's loose. Oh, look at that! Look at that! They're all loose. I thought I was gonna have to fight this thing. Keep in mind, it's been a long time since I've worked on this bike, so I'm piecing it back together as I go. And it's hard for me to remember this stuff. I hate these drivers. They're so stupid. Alright, that should be tight enough. The way I have it configured back here is not right. This bottom one's kind of turned down, but exhaust will flow somewhere. Alright guys, so it is time to start this thing. It's been a long time coming. But I'm gonna clean up all of this. I have stuff all over the place. Always cleaning up. Put all these tools away. Leave out the ones that I might need for the carbs and whatnot. I'm gonna put some new spark plugs on it. And then get my fuel situated. Let's do it. Has not been started. I have no idea if it's going to start or not. I'm going to put gas in it, kick it over a bunch. It's probably going to take a bit. The main thing I'm going to try to do is get it to idle. So I'll just be messing with the carbs, trying to turn the idle screws in with the throttle. I'm just trying to get it to at least idle, if it will. I don't even know if it will or not, you know? And the other thing I want to make sure of is right here on the side of the motor is a oil check. 10mm nut here. And I'm going to want to crack this and take that out to make sure that oil is flowing up to the top of the head and all over the motor, pretty much. That's it, guys. 3 freaking years. Alright, gas is on. It's not leaking, which is good. It's full of oil. It's got battery. There's a pop. Heyo. Alright, so bunch of kicks. It did backfire through the carb. So what I want to do is kind of slow it down a little bit and recheck the ignition timing of it. I kind of rushed through that. I feel like I'm not super confident that I set it how I want it to be. Ugh! It is so close to starting, but I think that's a great place to stop. Next week, let's find out exactly what went wrong. What happened? Why is it not running? I think it's going to be really cool to show you guys what I found that I did wrong, and it may help out a bunch of you in the future. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and if you guys need any help with your carburetors, singles, twin, inline fours for your Honda, it won't run, runs like crap, maybe you just bought one, be sure to check out motorcyclemd.com. I have tons of videos that I've brought together and packaged up for you to view. They've helped out thousands of people, so make sure you check it out if you need that kind of help. As always, Cody from Motorcycle MD, bringing you guys some quality tips and tricks for your next build or your daily rider. See you next time. Later.